At the end of the day, how do we really know that the Bible is true, aside from the 5 books of Moses? Today, how do we know that Isaiah was a true prophet? Because we know that the judges at his time accepted him as a true prophet. But we have a bigger problem. When we open our Bible today, how do we know today that the words in our Bible were actually the words that were spoken by Isaiah? How do we know that these are the words that Isaiah spoke? We know one thing about a text. A text does not validate itself. If I come into a courtroom and present the court with an IOU that someone owes me $1 million, it's not a slam dunk case. I don't walk out with the $1 million simply because I have an IOU. The person I'm claiming the money from is going to say, well, how do we know that this document is legitimate? How do we know that it's a real document? How do we know that it's valid? And the only way a document becomes valid is that we have witnesses that validate it. We have witnesses that testify. Yes, we saw this loan take place that's recorded in this document. Document by itself may not even be a real document. It could have been a forgery. So the document by itself, if all we had was a Bible in front of us today, and we were just reading the words of Jeremiah, how do we really know that these words we're reading today were actually spoken by the prophet Jeremiah thousands of years ago? The only reason we know that is because we have witnesses that validate and testify to the accuracy of these writings. Who are the witnesses? So in the book of Isaiah chapter 43 verse 10, God says that Israel, the people of Israel, are his witnesses. That the Jewish people are the ones that testify. We today give testimony. We testify that yes, we received this book from our ancestors who received it from their ancestors. And first of all, we carefully preserve the accuracy of the text. We are testifying to the fact that these texts are accurate. And these are the texts that were actually composed by Jeremiah. And we can tell you, based upon the fact that our ancestors ruled on the case of whether or not Jeremiah was a true prophet, that he is a true prophet and not a false prophet. Meaning the text by itself does not speak for itself. The text does not guarantee its own credibility. The text only works in conjunction with living witnesses that can testify about the credibility, the accuracy, and the authority of these documents. So again, the text by itself, a written document by itself, is certainly not sufficient.